Hello, this is Dr. Garrett Castleberry, Program Director for Communication, Media, and Ethics here at Mid-America Christian University. I am here with a video preview of some of the booty, that is the bountiful treasure, brought home from this year's SCMS 2018 Society for Cinema and Media Studies, hosted this year out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And we are excited to dive in and look at some of the exceptional books that I picked up while on location, taking in different work from various writers, researchers, scholars, and educators, as well as sharing some of my own work in audience and media audience studies and media and reception studies. So I want to give us a preview of some of the texts I came home with, and while I look forward to working through these texts, we don't know quite for sure where they might land, right? What role they may play in future curriculum. But staying plugged in with not only other departments, but other disciplines, and as well as contemporary writings each of them are offering through various publishers. It is an exciting time to be able to connect on these scholarly levels, but also find the connection and application for those works in our courses. All right, so let me start us off with a bang, a pair of texts that I suggest have immediate use for some of our digital culture conversations. Here's one of the first ones I'm gonna look at really quick. Ooh, it's got controversy written all over it. Look at the title here. It's called Media Control. News as an Institution of Power and Social Control. Very nice, by Robert E. Jr. from Bloomsbury. I looked through this already, and I think it finds a well-established critique and counterbalance for contemporary journalism. And I know, I know people by name, but I know students and discussions and courses where we've talked about media and its role, not only the ethics of digital journalism, but also the ethics of digital media literacy. So this is a future text to be on the lookout for, right? It's going places. I think we can definitely find the right locations for it. Next up, we have Michael Strangelove's Post TV. All right. Piracy, cord cutting, and the future of television. This is excellent. We have a lot of conversations about television, or what we traditionally call television or TV, but now technically we may still use that term, but it's also something else, isn't it? I think this book is going to help us tap in and break free of some of those labels while engaging in rich conversations about where we are headed, not only technologically, but culturally. And being able to engage and stimulate those types of interests and concerns is significant, because you all will be joining or advancing in workforces that rely on your knowledge and familiarity with digital trends, conversations about technology, society, people, and communication. Let's take a break with some fun texts. I picked a couple of books up. I think they're sort of edited anthologies, meaning each smaller written works by various contributing authors. I see them potentially playing some role-playing roles in courses like Media Culture and Social Influence, Comm 2113, and communication and cultural change, where we use that course to provide an introduction to television studies, all right, a theme we just covered. But so a pair of books from the Intellect label that tackle two different popular culture texts that you may or may not have been exposed to in a class or two of ours. That's right, James Bond and Twin Peaks. All right, and so we're not force-feeding these texts, but rather these texts represent excellent jumping-off points to talk about the power and the social persuasion of popular culture. One of the key themes we like to tackle in the Communication, Media, and Ethics major. So, from the Fan Phenomena series, the James Bond book offers a number of short, engaging, well-written chapters from scholars and journalists, and I think it's going to add more potency to that genre conversation we have in 2113. I'll be excited to sprinkle a few of those readings along with the key texts we draw from already. And then, in communication and cultural change in particular, I know we have a week where we work through different decades of media history and television history, and so one of those purveyors of space is the text Twin Peaks. It's certainly something that intentionally can be read open across a number of interest areas, and so perhaps some of these supplemental readings can further ignite, right, the subconscious and also the conscious discussions we have. I did find a second one, a companion book. Can't say what role it or any of the chapters could play. Also, what's happening here? Will there be a dream to follow? Is this all a dream? Digital dream. We will see what kinds of Twin Peaks fandom, what is up there. Another volume, perhaps it's more personal interest, although when we develop special topics courses, this gives us an opportunity to take one area of interest and go a little bit deeper. So I found this book, and it's something I'll try to read on the side and see if there is a role for it in the future. But Dreaming of Cinema, all right, film itself as a medium of expression, not only art but also commerce, particularly the way it's used today and marketed today, but spectatorship, surrealism, and the age of digital media from Adam Lowenstein. Dreaming of Cinema, right? Oh, and of course, a nice companion piece to Marshall McLuhan here, right? We have to have the eyes on us at all times, right? The surveillance culture we live in. But if we're looking at cinema, if we're considering genre as a way to better understand the world, not just popular culture, I picked up a fantastic text. What role could it play in a future course? I don't know. Maybe a large role, maybe no role. But I did locate Film Noir, a critical introduction. One of the things I love is our student feedback in each of our communication courses. And sometimes we come across a genre that's not of a certain student's interest or flair or familiarity, all right? So, for example, Comm 2113, sometimes we're digging discussions that use the spy genre as a learning tool. Other times we're resistant to this, okay? We locate the cultural problems with such a genre or the limitations. That is great. Learning how to read these codes as well as understand the signs and symbols is essential to elevating our usefulness, our utility of these symbol systems, all right, in the language of popular culture. So, film noir, that could be an alternative genre we consider in future variations of the courses, or perhaps a way to study something like even semiotics in a special topics of communication course. Time will tell. We shall see. But if we need something more concrete but less specific on genre terms, hey, here is something coming down the pike narratology. All right, narratology, introduction to the theory of narrative. All right, so we've talked about theories of genre studies, and theories of communication, mass communication, mediated communication. But how deep have we gone into the pool of narrative as its own area of emphasis? I think that's something we could explore, find some helpful takeaways, if nothing else, build that literature for the student. And as we wind things down here, a couple of final texts. First one, Youth Media Matters, Participatory Cultures and Literacies in Education, from Karina Jackson. All right, and so Youth Media Matters, the title alone already extends its utility for our purposes. We are at the intersection of media and culture, social media in particular, trends, evolutions, all right, advanced technologies, convergence, spreadability, marketing, advertising, and how all of popular culture functions as metaphor and as monopoly. All right, and so what better text but an updated conversation on youth media, all right? And we talk about and practice that art and craft of content creation, right? And we understand and recognize the power of the medium, but also that more and more of us are creating content profiles and positive digital footprints online. All right, and so a book like this can serve many purposes. Perhaps it can speak to a couple of our courses in both the media studies tier of the major and the social media studies tier of the major. All right, and then finally, something that perhaps is less extensive to the student body, but more helpful, reflexive, as as I or other faculty here seek to continue to grow and reflect on our own teaching practices and methods. And if you are familiar at all with my video series, which is available for you to click and subscribe to on YouTube for updated content, then the pace of this next title will ring true to you. But I found a book that I've been inching toward reading for quite some time, excited to look through, and that is The Slow Professor. All right, challenging the culture of speed in the Academy, by Maggie Berg, Barbara Sieber. Folks, this is exciting. A host of new potential readings. We are at the threshold, all right? Ready to continue making waves, gaining momentum, and building a bigger and better communication, media, and ethics degree here at Minneberger Christian University. Thank you for listening, and thank you all for your continued engagement online, on ground, and everywhere in between.